Hi everyone, welcome if you're new here or welcome back if you've been here before. And I wanted to talk about the DJI Neo 2 because I've had this drone before. I returned it. I only got the Fly More combo with just the batteries. I returned it so that I could buy the one with the remote control. So I've got that now. I've been testing it out, and if you're like me and you create vlogs, not necessarily cinematic ones, one of the things that I was having second thoughts about in terms of committing to the DJI Neo 2 is that I had the Mini 3 Pro, and that had the, I think it's 24 and 25 frames per second as an option in its setting. And it also had D-Cine-like, not DM-Log, D-Log-M, DM-Log, but D-Cine-like. I have since sold that, and that's when I decided to bite the bullet with DJI Neo 2. But I also wanted to test a theory of mine that you don't actually need to have those options on the drone itself for you to be able to create sort of what I would call a cinematic look. So the following clips that you're seeing have their settings on the screen, and they are mostly the quick shots that are available on the DJI Neo 2. The key thing that I have done here is I've slowed down the footage to 24 frames per second instead of its original either 30 frames per second or 50 frames per second. So that slowing down of the frames that you are able to see creates sort of like that natural motion blur that cinematic looks usually have. Now this one is the follow mode, and this one is set into the far option so that you can see a lot more of the surroundings. This is probably one of my favorite shots here. This is the rocket with the rotation on, because I feel like that's a really cool shot. I've also done droney. I've also done dolly zoom, which you'll see in a little bit. But as you can see here, even the way it zooms into you, here's the dolly zoom, it just looks much crisper. Now I've set this on manual control using only the Fly app on the iPhone, which has limited options. So I've actually done the same thing with the manual control on the RC-N3, where I've slowed down a 50 frames per second to 24 frames per second. But in this case, because I've also removed the auto exposure and put in the shutter speed of 1/100, thereby bringing in more light onto the clip. So I've had to actually use an NDPL 16 on this one with an ISO of 100, so that it gives it this look. Now all of these shots were taken before 6:30 a.m. on a beautiful summer day. So as you can see, it is very possible to create a sort of cinematic look to your drone shots without actually having the highest end drone. Now I have to maybe put in a caveat here that I am not by any means professionally trained to do this. I learned how to color grade or power grade by watching YouTube videos. And I'm gonna link some of the really good ones that I have used in order for me to be able to create the looks that you've seen in the clips earlier. So none of them had D-Log-M. I didn't have to do the color correction part. I only had to color grade them, or in this case, power grade. Yeah, so I'll leave that in the description box down below, and you can go ahead and check those videos because they are the experts and definitely can help you with that. But I am by no means a professional in this area. I am just starting to learn about color grading. All right, I'll see you all again in the next video. Bye.